This right here is how you drop an isekai bombshell, a giant plot twist, wrap up a season in a 10 out of 10 way, leave the viewer wanting more, but if you never got a season 2, you're not going to feel like it was a wasted time, they ended it in a poor way. No, like, this is very much an open-ended situation that you can piece together in your head probably how it would go or how you'd want it to go. And should they give us a season 2, bet your ass I'd be watching it. But if not, like, this was a completely satisfying stopping point. Everyone was so caught up in this show thinking about, oh, you know, what's the plot twist going to be with the Demon Lord? She's probably a girl, right? Like, everyone's a girl in this show, you know, as these fantasy anime do. That we completely slipped the mind that, in actuality, we might be raising the successor to the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord literally offers RMC the title of Demon Lord in this episode. And at face value, that seems insane until you really start considering all the good that actually happened in this world and all the progress that's being made is because of RMC. Him turning it down because he said, hey, either take it or go home. But our boy came back and said, no, I want it someday, but I'm not ready for it. I'm going to strive to be worthy of it. But until then, I'm going to follow a boss I appreciate. People don't appreciate this show the way I do. It kills me inside. It really does. But the production was great. The voice work was fantastic. And the storytelling was top tier. If it wasn't for Zenshu airing this season, this would be my favorite isekai of the season. No joke. Want to see my full thoughts on these episodes, support my work, we do got the Patreon. We got those full uncut live reactions available exclusively over there if you're so interested. I mean, I do think we'll get a season 2. I really do. It'll probably take a little bit. But either way, we all were surprised when we first started the show. Being like, damn, that Demon Lord. He's a nice guy. He seems like he's a genuinely good boss. And I've mentioned this before, but it really came full circle this episode. The character development of RMC is literally top tier. If you want to say, yeah, I didn't really like this, or oh, this aspect of the show is mid. Hey, opinions. But something that you have to, in my opinion, consider objective is Uchimura's character development was legitimately good. Even if you may not have liked his personality or whatever, his actual arc of starting off pretty much horrified of living because of all the shit he's dealt with. From groveling at a man's feet every time he made a mistake or didn't do things perfectly. Send me back home, this, that, and the third. To have an episode where he's basically being told, take this position or you're going back home. If this was episode 1, if this was episode 6, hell, if this was episode 8, he probably would have just been on the, like, you know what, whatever you want, I have to do what you want, right? Because I'm pathetic. Instead, he took a whole ass day. He thought about it. He's like, you know, there's a lot of like about this, but yeah, that's not me. I can't do this. So instead, I'm going to write a manual for Lulu so she knows how to do all these things. I'm going to say my goodbyes. But as he goes round all the generals and speaks with people, without him here, there's no way progress will continue to be made. The two sides of the species training together, that can only happen because of what Uchimura did during that battle. There's still going to be a lot of heated moments, and you know, who's the best suited to keep them from biting each other's heads off? It's him. Of course, the other generals can work with him, but at the end of the day, it is his speeches that got them there. The idea of the technology and everything, it was more than just, here's the harem supporting Uchimura. No, here's the friends. Here's the allies, here's the comrades. And I think that's what's so great about the Demon Lord, is that I think deep down the Demon Lord knew he would probably turn him down. But at the end of the day, as long as there was that determination, because the biggest issue is that Uchimura started off as, I do what I'm told. But this was the first time in 12 episodes he truly said, I strive to be more. That I'm not just going to be comfortable being as one of the big 4 generals. No, I am going to strive to be Demon King in my own way. Whatever that's going to look like, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for that responsibility. Maybe they'll go the route that he'll be like the Hand of the King. Think of Game of Thrones. Who knows what he'll do? But he told the Demon Lord, I'm not going home, but I am going to strive to be more than what I am. And that is insanely well put together character development. I don't know what it will look like. I don't know what he'll do. But when you hear the Demon Lord, like, he was already confirmed to be the best Demon Lord in anime history. prior to this episode, and you can't at me, don't even try to argue that fact. But when he talks about how, like, hey, the way you become the top dog in this world is if you have the power to stop calamities. So therefore, current Demon Lord, we saw last episode, can stop calamities. So yeah. But the issue with that system is it creates tyrants, because generally the people who are the strongest aren't always suited to be the most kind rulers. So the idea of wanting to pass the torch to Uchimura and disrupt the current flow of Demon Kings and everything, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a very noble reason. So between them working together over the many years of this show's life, right? Very much they will find a new system. Maybe Uchimura will probably introduce democracy. Let's be 100% here. Like, they probably gonna vote in elections at some point in this story's run. But either way, there's so much greatness about this show, and I think truly people undervalued what it had to offer. And like, they'll just look at like, oh, here's a character being flirtatious, and they'll ignore all the characterization and development we got. Like, yeah, a lot of the characters kind of give a little flirtatious side-eye, but that's nothing new to Isekai, let alone anime in general. But the actual relationships and how they've built, it genuinely feels like they work together. And I just thought that was fantastic. This, like, deadass, if Zenshi wasn't airing this season, this would have been my favorite Isekai of the season. Like, no joke. And before people are like, what about ReZero? That's a sequel. That's a carryover, right? I'm talking about new stuff, okay? This was great. It legitimately looked good. Like, the art and animation was fantastic. The voice work, whether it was Uchimura's groveling and crying in this episode, or when our girl put on the helmet and it switched from her cute voice to her, like, muffled voice because of the mask, all that type of stuff is just those little moments, but it adds to such immersion to the show, and I just thought this was great. It's been a blast. I'm going to miss it. I hope we don't have to wait too long for a season 2, but if for some reason this is all we got, I feel like I got an ending even though it's still ongoing. And seemingly that I didn't have to go anime original with it in order to do so. And if it was anime original, shit, that's some good shit either way. You let me know your thoughts. What did you think? And, how do you think over the course of the show they might go? I think eventually Uchimura would introduce elections, and that's how they would determine who's Demon Lord. I feel like that's the natural train of thought, especially with how he progresses this world, but you let me know your theories if you got any. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Scott Mondro, Monster Enthusiast, Akato, James, Aris Kataras, Justin Hayes, Amy, Oliseum, JC Bat 21, Lunchbox Slayer, Joseph, and we also have Blue Wizard. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You all have a good one.